Welcome to this episode of JING TV, when we're going to talk about the role of research in massage therapy. Welcome to this episode of JING TV with the role of research in massage therapy. And how important is it to run your practice from an evidence-based approach?
Yes. So I think it's quite a hot topic, certainly in the UK and I think in the US as well, that our practice should be informed by the latest available research, and certainly in order to lend credibility to the profession. I think that's really, become important, hasn't it? And I was actually on two courses in the same week with two teachers who I admire greatly. One was our friend A.L. Lederman.
Oh, we love that.
And who's very into the evidence-based practice and the research fantastically. And the other one was Jean-Pierre Barral, who was the founder of Visceral Manipulation. He's a very talented osteopath. So A.L. is very much into the research and evidence-based research. And Jean-Pierre Barral said, he's French, so this is my imitation of a French accent, if it sounds a little bit Welsh. And he said, evidence-based practice is killing our profession.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I thought that was quite interesting that one practitioner felt that actually it was really the bodywork industry, and another one is very into it.
Holding it up.
Yeah, and I think we might think differently on this.
Well, I think that is the truth, actually, for a change, where I'm not. So it's not that I don't believe that evidence-based research is really important to massage therapy, and it's very helpful when we have it to rely upon, but I just don't think it should be driving our massage practices.
Because we both come from a psychology background, don't we? Where also evidence, science and evidence-based practice was also,
it's truly true. And I think with psych, when I was studying psych 20 years ago doing my degree, there was that balance about what you knew intuitively, when you were sort of doing talk therapy with somebody and working through psychological issues with somebody or mental health issues, and you felt like you could do really good practice with them versus what you were kind of allowed to do because the evidence had proved it would work in a clinical setting. And I think, no, that's really a good point, Rachel. I hadn't really made that alignment in our lives and how we work. And I think that's the same thing with, and one of the things that drove me to body work was I could do things in body work that was similar to what I wanted to do in the therapeutic talk therapy practice with psychology, but with kind of less constraints, if you like, because there was more creativity in it. Think about that a little bit. Reflective practice on that. But that is really true to a certain extent. And so, yes, I feel like my intuition and the intuition of therapists drive them to incredible places. In certain conferences that I've gone to, particularly around fascia that have been happening in the UK and certainly were happening in the US, there is a real admission that the clinicians are way ahead of the researchers. And so the researchers are kind of thinking, well, how do I prove this? Because the clinicians are finding that it is working in practice. And so I feel like as long as clinicians keep hold of that, which is holding true to the fact that things work in practice that might not have been proven, then they'll have a clear focus.
I think the really important part is that you should be continuously critical of what's happening in your practice. So I think there are different ways to do that. I think if you're a good clinician, then you're always trying out different things in practice, finding out what works, what doesn't work. I know that I've learned lots of techniques that I feel don't actually work in clinical practice, so I've dumped them. Whereas the ones that I do, I keep them in, and if they're not working with a certain person, I might bring in other techniques or try a different approach. And I think the thing about clinical practice is that it's multifaceted. So generally, certainly the way we work in JING is the acknowledgement that a lot of things go into making somebody better, not just the techniques that you use, but also the personal relationship, the self-care exercises that you use at the end. So I think that sometimes I agree with you that sometimes clinicians can be ahead of the game, but I think that also sometimes we can be using techniques techniques that are outdated and actually have no evidence
Right.
behind them.
Yeah.
So I am into the research. I really do try and keep up to date with the latest research, and there's lots of ways of doing that at the moment. There's some great websites out there. I highly recommend Touch Research Institute. Tiffany Field has done.
Who's still doing great work.
Yeah.
People doing great work under her name.
Loads for massage. PubMed is free, and that's one of the largest databases you can gather evidence from all over the world. So I think it's fantastic these days that you can very easily keep up with research.
And we should also say
free.
that when we devised the BTEC level 6 in the UK, which is the highest level of education somebody can get, we made it important for our students to actually do research. So people do their own research in a dissertation format, which is very rare in massage education. So we are behind doing research. I think it's just not, of course, being a drone to it. That's kind of what I want to say out there. So, and the research that's come out of the JING Institute for the first 2 graduate courses, which are about 100 different small-scale studies, have been incredibly enlightening, but they were so small-scale that, of course, they wouldn't be evidence-based. That's the thing.
Yeah. If you are interested in looking at primary sources for research, definitely recommend Massage Therapy Foundation. It's doing some great work in the US. They've got some studies on their website. And if you go to PubMed, then look at the reviews. Type your search terms into the box, might be massage and chronic pain, and then look for the reviews that have happened in the last 10 years, and that'll cut you down having to search through thousands of research articles. We'll maybe do another episode about more specifics about research. But anyway, tell us what you think. We're interested. Research, is it important or not? Get on the Facebook, get on the Twitter, get on the website.
www.jingmassage.com. You can follow us at JING Institute on Twitter and Facebook. And you can also subscribe to JING TV.
Yeah. And we'd love to hear your reviews as well on iTunes. Would be fantastic.
Review us. Tell us what you think.
Tell us what you think.